So as the pressure has grown, the financial pressure has grown from the public against tuition rates. The universities have had two choices. One choice would have been to reduce tuition. They can't do that. That's not an option. So their only other option has been to increase the perceived value of their product, right? Let's try to make people more satisfied with the price, right? By showing them that it's worth it. And so the way that they've done this, and you can see this, go to any university website and you see it right away in all of their programs, is to show you what jobs you qualify for, right? By paying this money to us, you get a return on your investment, or you get an immediate return on your investment by the career doors that are open to you and the greatly increased earning potential that you get as a consequence. And so, and this is a relatively recent development in higher education, but it's now almost universal. Everybody says, here are the jobs, like with concrete lists. Here are the jobs that you are going to be qualified for if you get this degree or that degree or do this program or that program at our school. And all of these things obviously make it a worthwhile investment, don't you think? So this is where the humanities has really been squeezed into a corner, because the humanities do not come across well on this particular metric. There are very few high-paying jobs out there that, hang out a shingle saying only art history majors need apply. Like there just are very few that fit that category. So it's a real strain to try to justify the humanities in that way. And since the universities have poured all of their efforts, they're thoroughly invested now in this kind of, you qualify for high-paying jobs by paying this money for our tuition model, then it's harder and harder for them to justify the humanities. And enrollment in the humanities has been going down and down because this is what all students and all parents are now asking. And they are right to ask it. What are we going to get for all this money? It's a very sensible and important question for them to be asking. And the humanities do not seem to be able to deliver on that because it doesn't qualify you for a job. Now, the thing about the humanities, of course, there's a reason education always used to begin with, like back in the Middle Ages with the 7 liberal arts, right? And you started with the first 3 liberal arts were basically the humanities, grammar, logic, and rhetoric, right? Like everybody started with the foundation of the humanities and then, moved on to whatever kind of professional application they needed. And there's a reason they used to do it that way, because although the humanities do not uniquely qualify you for very many high-paying jobs, the humanities help you to build skills which are essentially important, especially for leadership positions in any job you might have. There is no job that you could possibly have that would not be enriched by being able to write more clearly, communicate more effectively, have greater emotional intelligence. These are things that the humanities train you in really, really well, and always have trained people in really, really well. But that's all being kind of pushed aside, and the humanities are increasing. I mean, you can go through and watch universities, collapsing their humanities programs, cutting whole, humanities departments and things because they're not getting enough enrollment, because it doesn't pay off in that return on investment equation that they have now hardwired into their marketing and even into their educational planning.
Yeah, it's almost as if they become very expensive trade schools where there's an investment, and it's not really education anymore. It's training, and there's nothing wrong with training, but it's a sort of a cost benefit return on investment, and every year as tuition goes up and up and up, it just becomes harder to understand which professions actually pay enough to justify it.